Hey Natalie, how you doing today?
I'm doing okay. How are you?
I'm good. Good. It's good to see you again. Thanks for coming back in.
hmm
So what's been going on with you in the last week since we spoke last?
Um, I feel like I've kind of been experiencing like more stress than when we last spoke. I I'm kind of struggling in one of my classes right now, and I'm like kind of worried because I've like held myself to like such a high standard, I guess. Actually, my whole family has been holding me to a high standard. They kind of expect me to like have like a 3.5 or higher GPA, and
Mm.
I'm kind of like freaking out, I guess, stressing out about the fact that this might not be happening because of this one class that I'm taking. So, yeah, that's what's going on.
Okay, yeah. I mean that's understandable to be stressing out over a class and I know we had talked previous about you having high expectations for yourself and wanting to do well. What class are you taking right now that you're struggling with?
Yeah, so I'm taking a what I'm trying to think of what it's called. It's like social work with individuals or clinical practice with individuals. It's like all about like implementing like the modalities and stuff like that, like in an actual session. And there's just like a lot of assignments and stuff, and I'm just having a hard time like trying to keep up. And I feel like my work is just not that great.
Okay. And when you say not that great, tell me a little bit more about what you mean by that.
Yeah, I feel like just having my internship, I'm taking two classes and working full time. I feel like my like work ethic has just been like falling off, and I definitely see it reflecting in my grades. They're definitely not at the standard that I would like them at. And like all my previous classes, I've always gotten like a 95 or higher, and I'm like struggling to reach that. And I know that's like such a high like grade point to hold myself to, but I just like know that's what I expect of myself, and my family kind of expects that of me as well. So,
Yeah, okay. So I know you'd mentioned that it's an expectation that you're setting for yourself, but you'd also shared that it sounds like this is something that your family has
mhm.
also put on you as far as an expectation. Tell me a little bit more about that and the stress just around your family's expectations.
Yeah, so my sister, she's actually getting her doctorate right now. And like I kind of feel like I've always just been trying to like prove myself to be like at a level like similar to hers. Obviously, I'm not getting my doctorate right now, but I feel like my dad expects me to like have like even better grades because like I'm not getting my doctorate, and he's like views my schoolwork as like way easier than my scores of 4.0. So that's kind of the stress that I'm feeling. And like in my mind too, I'm like, oh, well, if she's has a 4.0, like getting her doctorate, like what the heck am I doing basically?
Okay. Yeah, so I'm hearing just maybe some comparisons between you and your sister. Maybe you're just feeling extra pressure, it sounds, from your family because they have this view and maybe idea of how they feel that you should be performing in comparison to how your sister has performed previously, just with her doctorate and her role and everything. Okay. Yeah, that can be difficult. I can absolutely see why that would be contributing to your stress. What about your beliefs around your GPA? I know it sounds like your family was hoping that you'd have at least that 3.5, 4.0 would have been ideal. What's your belief around your GPA?
Yeah, I definitely feel like I believe that I should also have a GPA that high. Just because up to this point, I actually have been able to maintain a GPA around that. So I kind of just expect it at this point. So I'm like kind of putting all this pressure on myself to make sure I'm always reaching that like expectation that I have.
Definitely, definitely. Okay. Can I ask do you know what GPA is required in order to graduate to get your master's degree?
I'm pretty sure it's a 3.0 or higher, but I could be wrong on that.
Okay. All right. So it sounds like the expectation of the degree is about a 3.0 GPA, but that expectation that you're setting for yourself is around a 3.5 GPA or higher. Okay.
Yeah.
Um, and just thinking about that GPA and just how you've gotten to the point where you're at now. Um, you're almost done with your degree. So I know that up until this point, it sounds like you have had a pretty consistent GPA. You've been getting pretty good grades. So it sounds like maybe at this stage in the degree that things are maybe just kind of kicked up a little bit in terms of the requirements and maybe the difficulty of assignments. Does that sound right?
Yeah, no, I definitely, yeah, now that you say that, yeah, I would agree with that because like every year the course difficulty obviously goes up. So that does make sense why I would be struggling more this year.
Yeah. And I'm just wondering maybe if you think back to when you first started working on your degree, how were you feeling at that time? Just jumping into the program and trying to navigate what life looked like while juggling all of your other responsibilities on top of school, let's say just in that first semester.
Yeah, I feel like I was kind of like excited because I was like, oh, like I'm finally making progress towards like my future, I guess. Um, so yeah, I definitely feel like I had more like energy around everything and I was just like way more motivated, I guess I would say. And I feel like now I'm just kind of like in that like final stretch and I'm like, I just want to be done.
I can totally get that. Okay. So when you started, there was maybe more of that internal motivation, internal excitement, and drive. You were just starting the program and were maybe a little more fresh, so to speak, just with your perspective on the program. Okay. What other beliefs and thoughts did you have about starting your program and what this was going to look like for you?
Yeah, I kind of like I guess I'm trying to think of how to say it. I feel like I was like my goal was always obviously to become a social worker, and my belief and thoughts were that like this program would prepare me to do so, just through like internships and like all the courses we're taking. And like I know we have to get our licensure and everything, and the school offers like a preparation course for that. So I kind of had thoughts and beliefs that like this course is or like this school program is going to fully prepare me for my future, I guess.
Okay. And starting out where you were when you first started pursuing your degree, looking at where you are now, how would you say that you have progressed? Because you would have started that degree around almost at least a little over 2 years ago now. So looking back at where you started with this degree 2 years ago and fast forward to now, how would you describe your progress?
Yeah, I definitely think I actually have made progress. I definitely know a lot more about the profession. I'm also making progress towards being closer to being done with the program. So yeah, no, I definitely feel like I'm getting somewhere now that you put it that way.
Perfect, perfect. And yeah, and I think that's just what I was trying to point out for you is that it's of course okay to be stressed. It's valid that you're stressed right now and frustrated, but I think maybe challenging yourself to think about back when you first started this program, how you were feeling and just how far you've gotten from that point to where we are currently. And keeping in mind that you did a fantastic job getting from there to where you are now. You've been doing incredibly well. We've been talking about your grades and what you've achieved thus far. So I think reminding yourself of that and thinking, oh yeah, I have already come a pretty significant distance and have achieved uh, a lot since starting the program. So when you do start to have those stressful thoughts, those overwhelmed emotions, obviously feel them, process them, but also give yourself a little grace and remind yourself that you've already come incredibly far and you're only going to continue to come even further as you continue in your academic career.
Yeah, that definitely puts it in another perspective. So I will definitely try to focus on those helpful thoughts instead of the unhelpful thoughts that I've been having.
It's easier said than done, but it definitely gets
Yeah.
easier the more that we practice those
Yes.
positive thoughts and telling ourselves, I can do it. I've done this before. It seems really difficult right now, but I'm doing it. And I almost have my degree.
Yeah. No, that's so true.
All right, Natalie. Well, let's meet same day, same time next week. And thanks so much for just sharing your thoughts and feelings with me today.
Yeah, no problem. Thank you for listening.
Have a good one.
Yeah, you too.
Bye.